Finally, a new pair of Tonfas. I've been waiting for times like these, and I can say that I'm not disappointed at all. So today we'll be getting into a build on these new Tonfas and also what they do, and of course, we can't forget how to get them. I hope you guys enjoy. So here we are in the simulacrum, and we have the new Grineer Tonfas. And these are from an alert, and this alert just dropped today and will be lasting until the end of this weekend, depending on where you're watching this. And then next weekend will be a shield and a sword. I forgot what they're called. And then the weekend after that, these will both be available. So how you get these is you have to do the alert. Once you finish the alert for the first time, then you'll get the blueprint, and then you have to farm the mission over until you get 2 blades and 2 handles, and then you can craft this. So I personally think this is better than the Cronin, and let's see what this can do. Of course, I'm using a melee influence build on this, because why wouldn't I? But it takes a little bit to get ramped up, I won't even lie to you, but once it does get there, it starts destroying. So, as you can see, it did take a little bit, but now everything's just kind of dead. And that's really with any weapon. Now, let's go over what we have as the build. So let's go over some base stats first. Our unique trait is increasing combo multiplier, grants us plus 4% heat damage for 15 seconds, and this stacks up to 30 times, basically giving us 120% heat damage whenever we get full stacks. Our crit chance is a whopping 23, which is okay, and our crit multiplier is a 2.1, and that's also okay, and our status is 21, so kind of mid stats. And then we have slash. It's a mainly a slash focus, like all Tonfas are. So that's very good. Let's go into the actual build that I have here. So prime pressure point, self-explanatory. Primed, not primed. Gladiator might. Just for more crit damage and crit chance, and then Weeping Wounds, because the status is kind of low, I decided to slap on Weeping Wounds here for our melee influence because we're going to want to proc that. And then Voltic Strike, also for status chance and our electricity to proc melee influence. Galvanized Reflex, just for initial combo. And then we have Galvanized Elementalist, and this is for status damage, status chance as well. Galvanized Steel, crit chance, crit damage, and more crit chance over here with Blood Rush. So you'll be hitting reddish orange crits, mainly orange crits, but you will hit red. I don't have a ribbon yet as this just came out, and ribbons are pretty rare to come by at the moment. So I will say these are very good, but one thing I would recommend is if you use a Volt build, and I know it's a Volt, you will make any melee weapon good, but I really would recommend this build with these Tonfas, and I'll show you. I have a Kilvero build with Shock Trooper and also using shields, but you don't have to use the shields. And you can just see how good it really gets if you want to use this type of build. So you're going to go and you're going to pop Kilvero, place a shield, Shock Trooper, and then melee as you please. And then, of course, you can pop your Volt Speed to get more melee. And everything dies. It's a lot quicker. This is personally how I use Tonfas, but I know a lot of people don't like to play with just buffs. So I could understand that. But that is also a route that you could go if you don't want to just use them by themselves. You think they kill a little bit slow. But that is also very good. So without any further ado, let's hop into a conjunction survival because, as you know, the simulacrum cannot simulate real gameplay. I will see you guys in the conjunction survival. So here we are in the conjunction survival, and we're going to see how good these things work in Steel Path. So I would expect them to perform pretty good, and of course, got to get these stacks up. Melee influence is pretty busted, so pairing that with this heat perk will absolutely make this thing crazy. The attack speed is a little bit slow. That's the only thing I don't like. So you can run Arcane Strike. Arcane Strike is a option that you definitely could use, and I would say to use if you're not using anything else like Arcane Avenger or Arcane Fury of that sort. but it just feels just a bit lackluster without the attack speed. I'm gonna be honest. And so, even though it does have that damage and that heat that it's giving off, it does feel just a tad bit lackluster because of the attack speed. But other than that, it feels pretty good. Statuses are proccing, and you can see the influence is chaining pretty often. And I would say that you would want to use a melee platform if you're going to use these Tonfas. So, like I was just saying, I know some people prefer faster gameplay and also to use a melee platform with melee weapons. It doesn't even have to be the Tonfas in general, but that's why I chose Volt for my melee platform. He, with Shock Trooper, provides extra electricity, so your melee influence will proc more. He also has speed, so that you'll have more attack speed, and then you have his shield that you can go and carry around if you want to, just for more damage. And then for his fourth, I subsumed off his actual fourth and put on Kilvero's fourth, just to give me more crit chance, and also so that I can deal with an Acolyte very easily just by teleporting to the Acolyte, and it will pretty much just one-shot it. So personally, I think this is way better, and it gives more justice to the actual Tonkkatt. So the next thing that I want to go over is this build. This is the build that we made at the beginning, and just some kind of substitutions that you can make. So the first substitution I would say that is a good quality of life is to take off Gladiator Might, and you can put on Primed Reach, and this will give you three more meters of range, and it's just better for if you are not going to use a melee Warframe that is a platformer. You can instead use Reach to proc melee influence, and this won't increase the range of your melee influence, but just the range that you can hit enemies at. So that is a very good option as well. And then another good option is to put on Gladiator Vice, because if you put on Gladiator Vice instead of Gladiator Might, don't get tongue twisted and confused. But basically what Vice does, it will increase your attack speed, and Might increases your crit damage. But they both give you that nice 10% extra crit chance if you build up your combo. So we're sitting at about 5 times combo, and depending on if you melee more stuff, you can go all the way up to 12 times, which would be 120 increase in your crit chance. So they're both very good, but like I was saying, the attack speed was a little bit lackluster if you're not using a melee platform. So that's why I would also go with a substitute of Gladiator Vice. So that's all I really have for you guys this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.